Of Home and Family, How It All Began, by midnighttea09. Shinso Hitoshi only vaguely remembers how he got here. He remembers his foster parents putting that dreaded device on his face. He remembers giving up, being so tired and done that he just left. He remembers walking through an alley when suddenly someone tried to grab him, and he remembers everything going dark. But now, instead of waking up lying down on cold concrete with his clothes ripped and beaten black and blue like he would expect, he was laying in a warm bed with dim lamps and lots of blankets. His muzzle was nowhere to be seen. Was he kidnapped? Then why did he feel so safe? He was just lying there, lost in thought. Get up, you useless fuck. What if you were kidnapped? Does it even matter? When suddenly there is a knock on the door. The person, kidnapper, doesn't wait for a response, opening the door and coming in. He looks up, fearfully, yet oddly curious, when he sees a figure with bright pink Barbie sweatpants, a black sweater and long black hair. And shit, because he knows that figure. His new homeroom teacher, mentor, and the only father figures he's had for years is standing in the doorway, looking him dead in the eyes. Is it too late to go back to sleep? Shinso, Eraserhead deadpans at him. Sensei, Shinso replies equally as deadpan. We need to talk. And, oh no, that can't be good. Come get some food. And what, is he offering to feed him? His own foster parents don't even do that half the time. Weird. He follows Aizawa-sensei out of the room and into the dining room, where Aizawa gestures for him to sit at a nice wooden table. He does, and then he's being handed a plate of onigiri and egg. His sensei gestures again, this time for him to eat, and he does, trying his hardest to be polite in the process and not scarf everything down with the speed of light. Once he's eaten most of it, Aizawa-sensei speaks. So you don't have to talk now, but we do eventually. Why were you getting mugged in a dark alley with a taut muzzle on your face? He flinches and puts his chopsticks down. My current foster placement isn't too fond of me, or my quirk, he answers, voice barely above a whisper. Is this something they do often? Aizawa-sensei replies. Not just them. Every fucking foster house I've been in since I was 5. He practically spits. I'm sorry. I know how hard that must be, and I'm grateful you're telling me. I just have a few more questions, if that's alright with you. And Aizawa-sensei actually seems like he means it, so maybe that's why he says okay. Or he's just way too sleep-deprived. Do they hurt you in any other way? Sensei asks. Yes, Hitoshi whispers. Aizawa-sensei takes a deep breath then. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I already got my emergency foster license, so you'll be staying here with me, Eri, and my husband. And wait, husband? Who you'll be meeting later once he comes home. We have 3 cats, all hiding right now, so let me know if you're allergic. When we go back to school you'll continue to be staying in your dorm, but over breaks you will come back to stay with us, unless you are uncomfortable with that and want to be placed in another home. Do you really want me? He replies, the word me sounding bitter on his tongue. And no, Hitoshi, that was an inside thought. He's making intense eye contact with his shoes when he hears, Yes, kid, you are one of my strongest students, stronger than I originally believed. You have so much potential and I want to help foster that. He looks up, and Aizawa-sensei looks upset. Maybe Hitoshi just needs more sleep. Or coffee. Aizawa-sensei sighs and stands up. I'll let you think about it. Eri is currently sleeping and my husband will be back in about half an hour. Would you like to shower and get changed out of those clothes? I have some you can borrow. He then looks at the clock on the wall and notices it's near 1 a.m. Great. Hitoshi is now staring at himself in the bathroom mirror, his sensei's clothes on, a bright yellow put your hands up radio shirt and black sweatpants. And how was he let into the hero course? Why did his sensei let him into his home? Why him? His unruly purple hair is sticking up in every direction he doesn't want it to. His eye bags at this point could rival Aizawa's, and his arms. Incredibly visible in this lighting, covered from top to bottom in bright red and white scars, some of them still fresh. He picks at one of the scabs, still flimsy from the shower. What does he do? Is it rude to ask for a sweater? And that's how he got here. awkwardly shuffling his feet in the kitchen of his sensei's apartment, with his arms crossed tightly to hide them while he asks for a sweater. His sensei looks him up and down before agreeing and wandering off, then coming back with a dark blue jacket. He hands it to Shoto, who quickly grabs it and runs off, not noticing the lingering looks his sensei gives him. He's in the guest room putting on the jacket and attempting to fix his hair despite it being near 1 a.m. when he hears the front door open. He starts trying to listen in on the conversation between his sensei and who must be his husband, but he can't hear anything, so he decides to check it out. Probably stupidly, he walks out the hallway and starts looking around, the not too bright lights and bookshelves, pictures lining the walls. It feels homey, something he's not had in a long time. He gets to the kitchen and sees, is that present Mike? Standing in the doorway with his hair down. Damn, now he owes Todoroki 600 yen. Ah, Shinso, good timing. This is my husband, Hisashi Yamada, but you probably know him as Present Mike. And Present Mike, or Yamada, is standing there staring at him, a huge smile on his face. He's confused when, "Hey, little listener, I heard we get to take care of you from now on. I can't wait to take you places and make lots of memories. Ooh, we need to go shopping. Shopping!" And then Aizawa sensei elbows him in the gut. You're going to scare him. And yeah, now he can see why they're married. After the introductions, they decide to go to bed. Hitoshi mainly lays there for a few hours, but he's surprised when he wakes up in the morning to excited chatter coming from the kitchen. And he fell asleep? Huh. He feels surprisingly well rested as he sits up, the light from the window leaking through the room. He's not felt this comfortable in years. Still, he throws the blankets off and leaves the room. Yes, listener, he's in the guest room now. Are they talking about him? No, Erie, don't wake him up, he needs rest. Ironic. Yes, the purple one. And that gets a snort out of him as he walks into the kitchen, causing Erie to excitedly turn to him while Present Mike tries to stop her from falling off the chair. Hey, listener, we were just talking about you. Breakfast should be ready in a minute, and Sho's still sleeping. Mike is very animatedly talking. Hitoshi, Eri misspeaks and tries again. Good morning. Papa says you get to live with us now. Did they save you too? Ooh, can we draw together again? Ah, right. He remembers last time Eri came to visit the class. How he was sitting by the window drawing when Eri came over, impressed by his art and wanting to draw too. Good morning. Sure, I'd like that. And Eri beams nearly as bright as Mike does. Too bright. Too bright. He started as Aizawa sensei voices his thoughts, walking into the kitchen and grabbing the mug of coffee Mike hands him, then proceeding to chug half of it before giving Eri a pat on the head. It feels so domestic. Hitoshi almost doesn't know what to do. Hey kid, Aizawa says once he's a bit more awake. Are you up to going shopping today? Last I checked you needed some supplies. Ah, he forgot about that. He shrugs. Sure, why not? The mall was surprisingly empty for a Friday evening, but still had a fair amount of people. Hitoshi minutely flinched at the noise. He changed his mind about being okay with this. At least Aizawa looked about as happy to be here as he did. So, listener, where to first? He looks around and notices a cool goth-like clothing store. He always liked that style, but was never allowed to have clothes like that. Luckily or not, Mike notices his look and dragged him into the store. After half an hour, one large bag of clothes, and a guilty amount of money later, and they're walking into the next store. This one a more general type store, for hygiene products and things of the likes. Eri winces at the bright lights and starts tearing up. She curls into Mike, who's holding her, and barely above a whisper says, Lights. Go please. Mike then excuses them and leaves Aizawa and Hitoshi alone to browse the store. Aizawa leads him to an aisle with hair care products and asks him what he wants. He picks out a cheap set of shampoo and conditioner, with a separate brand of body wash, then heads towards an aisle with toothbrushes and shaving supplies. He grabs a nice but not too fancy blue toothbrush with some mint toothpaste, then follows Aizawa to a section of razors, where Aizawa grabs a nice one. I need to know you can be safe with this if we get it for you. Shit, did he know? He couldn't. He's never been around him with short sleeves, and he's positive Aizawa didn't see his arms last night. Was he just being cautious? That'll be fine. Aizawa nods, then puts it in the cart. After a few more stores and meeting up with Mike and Eri, being dragged into a toy store and all of them picking out stuffed animals. Nobody's too old for Stuffy's show. Present Mike got a bird, he and Aizawa got cats, and Eri a unicorn. They all leave the mall to head home for dinner. Wait, home? Does he really feel at home here? Maybe he does. After dinner they all go to bed, and Hitoshi starts thinking about the past days, how safe he feels here, and how he hopes he doesn't have to leave anytime soon. Hi, thank you for being so patient. Hopefully the next one won't take as long. I've already found one to read, so thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.